Hey everybody, it's April Henry. A little scattered today. I set up all my Facebook Live notes to myself Saturday, and now I couldn't find the one I was planning on doing today. I don't even remember what it was about. So you can watch all my previous ones on my website, aprilhenry.com, or go to my YouTube channel, which is also called April Henry. My plan is to do this every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time until I run out of topics. Today's shirt is "You Have Died of Dysentery," which is a joke on an old computer game about the Oregon Trail that people used to play in school. I am actually old enough that there were no computer games we played in school, and I learned BASIC as a senior in a room for a computer that was about the size of a house. And I never used BASIC again, but I do appreciate my calculus teacher teaching us, knowing that computers were the future, even if BASIC wasn't necessarily the future. My lipstick is something I bought super cheap at Fred Meyer, and it is way too much for me. I don't normally wear makeup. So today I'm going to be talking about how to turn a character into a career, and tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll be talking about handling violence. So um, if you're going to write mysteries, a lot of times they're going to fall into two camps. One is a thriller, the other is a serious mystery with the same characters. And people like serious mysteries because they're kind of comforting. You already know the characters in them, and it's not so much about the mystery, but about the character development. So years ago, I remember talking to Lorianne Barrison, and she had sent a book out to an editor called A Pedigree to Die For. And the editor said, "I love it. I'll take the first three." And she said, "First three what?" So she didn't, she had already written about a dozen standalone novels, but she'd never written a series before. So she told me that it never crossed her mind that she was going to have to live with these characters for a decade. She remembered thinking, "Oh, I'm just throwing a kid. I haven't done a kid for a while." And it turned out to be a huge mistake, she said, because it was hard to have a mom solving crimes with a young kid and make it be believable. Um, an adult can be 30 something forever, but kids are changing, and you'll need to show that in your book. And and it makes a big difference whether the kid is 4 or 10. She said if was going to start over and do that, she would not have given the person a kid. She would have done a lot of things differently. Series mysteries do sell very well, and so if you're going to do a series mystery, you want to set it up in a way that's going to allow you to continue and give you lots of material for stories. You're going to make careful choices about your character, your point of view, and setting even before you begin the series, and that will help you create a strong series. I've written, gosh, I don't know, probably 4 different series. It's gotten to the point where I don't really remember. And a lot of times series do kind of tend to peter out because, like, even Harry Potter, the number of people who read the first one versus the number of people who read the last one, it's going to be more people that read the first. You don't always maintain your audience. You will usually decline. So, but if you make careful choices, you can give it a better chance of success. Lee Child told me that the things that he had spent time thinking of paid off, and the things that he didn't think about came back to bite him. So, the first thing is creating your character. One approach is to start with a character that you share a background with. So, like my old friend Barbara Saranella, when she started her series, it was about a person who was an auto mechanic, and she was an auto mechanic at the time. Um, Others people have started from scratch, taken something that was interesting to them, like being a wedding planner, and kind of crafting what they were going to be like. So Lee Child told me that when he was doing Reacher, he said he wanted a protagonist who was uneasy and not at home in civilian society. So he decided an ex-army brat and an ex-army officer would fit the bill. And he wanted him to have an extensive familiarity with the investigation process. So he made him an ex-military policeman. Um, But whether you draw on real life or things that you research, be sure to give your main character a lot of trouble and potential for trouble, because trouble is no fun in real life, but it's way fun in a book. So, is she afraid of heights? Did he grow up in poverty? Did her husband leave her for another man? Give her him or her, some kind of problem that they're going to be dealing with, hopefully, over the course of the whole series. Um, so be careful not to nail down all the particulars of your character in that first book. You want to leave some room for improvisation and thoughts that you're going to have later on in the series. You also want to give your main character a job. First of all, it's realistic. Most of us can't afford to not work. And one is to give them a job that makes them naturally nosy, like a newspaper reporter. Another is to give them a distinctive area of expertise. The plus side is that with each book, you can explore some new facet of their industry. The downside is the readers are going to need to suspend disbelief about, say, the growing pile of dead bodies in the florist industry. Let's see. A third approach is to give your character an ever-changing occupation. There was Elaine Wiese was writing for a series for a while that was called the Dead End Job series, and she and the character both worked the same minimum wage jobs. So Elaine actually took a bunch of jobs that didn't pay that well so she could write about them. So another approach is to simply give your character enough money that they don't need to work. And then another thing you want to think about when you're creating your series is, who are you going to give them for love interests, sidekicks, best friends? You want people that are going to provide zest and conflict, and they're not exactly like your main character. So you want to give them varied backgrounds so they can maybe have some information your main character wouldn't have, and just to provide a contrast. So there's a reason serious protagonists tend to be divorced or widowed or single, is it gives them a variety of love interests that they could pursue during the book, and not have give them a new character maybe in each book that they fall in love with. It might be good to give them a friend or a relative that is good at sleuthing, or that they have information, like they're a cop or a private investigator or a reporter. And then when you're thinking about your books, think about setting your series in a place that you currently live or that you're very familiar with. It might be humdrum to you, but readers love getting an inside view. Ian Rankin's series Mysteries. Now there's even a Rebus tour in Edinburgh, Scotland. You'll also need to decide whether your books are set in real time and how fast your characters age. People a long time ago might have started out with somebody who's a Vietnam vet, and now that person's going to be getting up in years. So if you pin down their background really explicitly, just think, what's this going to be like in 10 years? Will this still work? And then one more trick of the trade is continuity. In movies, if a character is wearing a hat in a scene, and then when it cuts to a different angle, they're no longer wearing the hat, that's called a continuity problem. Same thing with series mysteries. If you're going to write a series of mysteries, start keeping a list of everything you've said about everyone, their eye color, how tall they are, who their best friend is, their height. Authors have told me again and again they wish they would have kept kind of a series Bible of those facts, so that when they're writing, they could refer back to it and not have to go rereading through their own books to find out things. And I have to admit, I've done that myself. So tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about handling violence, and tomorrow's my birthday. So I'll even be talking to you on my birthday. So you guys have a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Love you.